Alright guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Today we're going to be talking about gold and the possibility that it could be going to some lofty levels. We're going to be talking around, the 3 and 4,000. And we're going to talk about it on the square here. And we're going to work out a 10, 20, and a 30-year market cycle for gold really quickly. Let's just dive right in. So as you know, right now, gold's broken out of its all-time highs, and when an asset does that, oh, by the way, gold is in the blue and the US dollar is the green and red. When an asset breaks out of its old top, or a top of several years, as this has done, it indicates extreme strength, and it means that we're about to experience a massive blow off top. So, looking at that, let's go take a look at what Mr. Gann would call his forecasting cycles. And he started with the 10, 20, and 30-year cycles, and he considered those to be his part of his master time cycles. So let's go take a look at what happened 10 years ago from 2024. Well, back in that year, top was made in March, and then subsequently a fall off happened. So we're going to keep in mind that March is a month that we need to watch for tops or changes in trend, as well as May and June for a low. And we need to watch these later on in the year. We could have a top again in July and August. We can move down. And in this cycle here, it's saying that October and November are extreme cycles, as well as this December and January. So October, November, and December are extremely important, not just for bottoms, but they can be for tops. And the same can be here. We don't have to make a bottom, but it looks like we're probably going to make a higher low or something. So this is our 10-year cycle. Okay, so our extremes are happening in these months here, right? And this is where we got to look. An extreme is happening in August, right? A major change in trend happened there. So I expect this year a major trend change will happen in 2024, probably to the upside. We'll see. And all the way to October, November, and December. So that's the 10-year. So let's now go take a look at the 20-year gold cycle and see what happened. So, starting off the yearly cycle, January was a top, we moved down, and by March and April, we had a top. Interesting. And then by May and June, a bottom had formed, and we had a change in trend. And by August, we had a breakout move up, and we had a top, right? October, November, and December. Okay? So that's our 20-year cycle. So interesting that these dates, they correspond. So let's go now take a look at the 30-year cycle and see what we can learn there. Okay, so I'm going to move this stuff out of the way a little bit here. And let's just bring that down. Okay, starting off our year now, right? January was the top. Let's just make that bigger so we can see that a lot better. Just helps because I know most of you guys are watching this on your phone. All right, so starting off the year, right? A top, we moved down a bit, and our last tops right in here, March and April, and we never got above our January and particularly our March and April top. We never got above that. So, and also note that April was very volatile and we had a bottom there. And then May and June moved up, right? And July, and then August, right? Big change in trend there. Had a swing top, right? September, October, right? And then in this cycle, November, December, right? Down, right to our January. And that's our 30-year cycle. So you can see the months that are really important. And Mr. Gann would catalog all these years, and he would state, mark how many months, if March had a top. Well, we've had 3 tops in March and April. So it's likely impossible that, we've got a good blow off top here in this March and April while we resettle down and look for another move up, right? Which could occur, right, in this June, July, and September, October, and November and December are huge months for changes in trend. And I'd expect that by August we're going to have a major kick up too. So that's a 10, 20, and 30 year. So let's go take a look at, what happened there with prices, and let's go take a look at what we could see happening in the future. All right, so moving back to 1980, we made a top at 750. Well, it says 800 here. So we're just going to take the square now, and we're going to knock a bunch of zeros off the price, and we're going to start finding all our tops and bottoms. Okay, so I want to point out that 7 to 8 is our 750. We can even use 75 as the bottom, being 750, right here on this lower part, could be our top, right? This all correlates. But first we'll use the inner part of the square, and then we're going to use the higher octave of the numbers and do the same thing. So I just want to show you how accurate this tool really is. So we made a top at 750 here. The next tops that we would experience would not come until around this 21 area, right? Or $2,100, right? So let's go take a quick look at what I'm talking about. So our 750, we've just discussed that. And now we're going to come back and we're going to look at what we're talking about here with our pricing structures. Because it's important for us to understand that these numbers, they re-repeat. So we had our first top, it was actually at 1900, right? So, but that's kind of close enough, because really the low back here, just a few years back, again, what? Right? We're back here at 1100. See this? So 19 and 1100. All right. So what's the next move up we can expect? Well, let's go take a look. So we've broke above our old tops, and as Mr. Gann stated, that's when really fast moves happen, and this is the actual, we're starting a third section of the campaign here. So where could we expect a top? Well, really in line with our numbers, we're stating that 721, our extreme top would probably be 43, but our next major top would come in here. Next 25, 28, 31, 34, 37, up to the $4,000 mark, and then we might breach and make 43. Well, why is that? Well, it's possible that that happens by November, and that's when the sun, which you can't see right now up here, let's take a look at it, is right here. When it makes it all the way around to the opposite side, over here, this will be November and December, right here. So by that time, I expect us to be, at around 3,000 to 4,000. So let's go take a small tool and let's go take a look at that. All right. But before we do that, I wanted to show you. So if we use 75 now as our top here, our old top in 1980, we've swung all the way around now, and our new top right now that we're dealing with in this breakout is 21. And I'm expecting that we're going to run all the way around to 3,000 and then run all the way up, touch maybe about 4,000. This one ends at 36 or 361, which is 19 times 19, the square of the circle. So, and 400, of course, is right here because all the natural squares of numbers that are even numbers, like 2 times 2, 4 times 4, 6 times 6, right? You can see it just continues on, right? Right? 100, 12 times 12, right? 14 times 14, 16 times 16, 18 times 18, and on the opposite side are exactly the opposite side are the uneven numbers, right? So we got the squares of 3 times 3, right? 5 times 5, 7 times 7, 9 times 9, 11 times 11, and it just continues to carry on in the odd. So this is really an impressive tool, and it'll help you find tops and bottoms. Let's go take a look at the pitchfork, and let's run a pitchfork on there and see what that would look like. All right, so we'll take it from our first low right here, and in doing that, we need to go to our first sine wave. Oh God, here we go. This thing's being a freak. All right, so let's just line this up on our sine wave. I want to show you. This is what you got to do with your tools. This is how you're going to find these areas in the future. All right, so let's just move this out of the way. Let's bring this down. So we're talking right now that it's possible and likely that we get up to 3,000. I was talking about this, right? Or 3,000. And from there we could, by the end of the year, easily, right? 34, 37, and we can be all the way up into this 40. Like we could have a massive blow off. Massive. So I just thought I'd show you that, right? Where's 4,000 come out? Well, it's a couple of years out on this tool here, but we could, I think that we have a great chance at reaching 3,000 right now. And I think that's very possible and likely that we make it up to these levels. There's 34 right there. So, but I think 3,000, if we get back up and touch this, it's possible and likely. This is a really heavy year. We have an election year, and currencies are resetting. And, we look at the dollar here. The dollar's actually kind of in step a little bit with gold, right? It made its bottom here, and, but they usually have an inverse proportion, Usually when the dollar makes a top, gold makes a bottom, right? However, in saying that, we have a reverse correlation. So again, makes a top, we come down, right? But on this one now, gold should have been going straight up here, but it didn't. And it's been suppressed. And it made its bottom when The dollar made another top, and then that's it. Broke above its old tops here, and it looks like we're about to move up into this 3,000 level. Anyways, guys, peace and love. I hope that you enjoyed that, and we'll get back to some more Bitcoin soon. Peace and love.